Okay, so talking about energy and chi, right? We recognize that all is chi, all is energy. And I think a lot of people misunderstand that or don't even really get that. And even the ones who do, I think, sometimes have a hard time grasping it beyond the concept itself. Right? The concept makes sense, but show me, right? I heard that from seafood.
Yep.
And one of the things that I run into in magic, because in my experience, chi is very real. Magic is very real. But a lot of times people that claim to practice it aren't. And even more so, I have found, at least in the magic community, that so many magicians are literally afraid, fearful of actual magic. And I find that really interesting. As a martial artist, my hands, which are used to defend, strike, are also the same hands that I use as a Reiki artist.
Yep, you can heal with them.
To heal. It's the same energy, and it's what we choose to do with it, right? It's the Force. I think Anakin Skywalker used the Force and had an ability to go one direction or another with it. And interestingly enough, Anakin Skywalker could also do psychokinesis. Psychokinesis, the ability to use mental clarity, balance, chi, in order to create unusual things to happen. My medium happens to be this. Give you a quick story. I was 15 years old in an IHOP, the International House of Pancakes, when I discovered I could do weird things with metal objects. It came to me after I had seen a movie with Robin Williams called The Dead Poets Society. It's one of my favorite movies.
Yes. Awesome.
And it was a movie in which he actually encouraged his students to see the world in a different way. Stand up on their desks, "Oh, Captain, my Captain," right? As he quoted Walt Whitman. And then later I heard one of my heroes, Wayne Dyer, say, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change.
Yep.
And that's when everything started to happen because of this. The first thing I did when I looked at that spoon was that I was upside down. My perspective was already shifting. Right? I wonder if that's how Alice felt the first time she fell down the rabbit hole. Then I took the spoon and I raised it into the air. And I just looked at the room around me. And it is amazing the way the world looks from different angles. It's the way our martial arts looks from different angles too, right? In fact, we use different angles in order to win in our martial arts, or maybe just come to zero, a neutral position. At first, the energy wave is very subtle. Almost imperceivable. It's like, even now I realize that as I draw energy from the tail to the head, the magic works a little bit stronger. Again, this is it's a solid spoon. In fact, clearly on the back of that it says stainless. It's stainless steel. And yet, the right balance, the right force.
Do you see that?
The right control. Larry, would you reach forward and just take this off my hand? Would you point out that there's no strings or wires or magnets attached to that?
No, man, what is that, dude? That's some crazy voodoo.
Feel the metal. Is it warm?
A little bit.
Yeah. But not a lot, right?
No.
Not hot enough to melt.
No.
No.
No, I understand.
Now, David, where you're from in Israel, because of Yuri Geller, This is more common.
Yeah.
The more common people. In America, most people are only familiar with this through watching the movie The Matrix. You guys seen The Matrix?
Yeah.
Right? It's where the child says, "Do not try and bend the spoon, that's impossible. Instead, only try and realize the truth." And Keanu Reeves goes, "What truth?" And the boy goes, "There is no spoon. You see, it is only yourself that bends." Feel it. Right there. Just Now, I'll be honest with you, my father, who's a businessman, was not okay with me doing this in the restaurant.
I bet.
He did not like this, no, and especially 15 years old, to him it was an adolescent just destroying silverware on the table.
Right, like, what are you doing, boy? Yeah.
And not only that, but to make it worse, the server saw it. And then the server, without asking questions, brought over another spoon along with the hostess. And after seeing that, they ended up bringing out the manager, who brought out the kitchen staff. By the time it was done, there were 6 pieces of silverware mangled in different directions on the table in front. And my parents were trying to hold their composure.
Oof. That's rough.
Yeah. So since then, just out of respect for my father, I've learned to straighten the spoon so it can bring it right back. It's how the world works, a full circle. We can twist and maneuver and mangle, but we're always returning back to the center. We're always returning back home, right? I'll do this again. If you watch here, it'll just start to rise, just a little bit. Comes right up. Sifu Larry, would you come in just a little bit closer? Would you take your, are you right-handed?
I'm left-handed.
Left-handed, please. Take your left hand, point your left hand up to the sky. Good. I just want you to close it right like this. Tell me if you can feel the energy between our palms.
Yes.
Can you feel if I push past neutral?
Yes.
Can you feel if I push back?
Yes.
Yeah, you're pushing now.
Yes.
Yeah? Now we're at 0, yes?
Yes.
See how much I can learn overnight?
Yes.
Tell me if you can feel this. Feel that?
Yeah.
And that's the spoon.
Come on, man.
And you can actually see right where my finger was, right where the bend actually occurred. Now, it's stainless steel. I'm a boxer. I can use my hands if I want to, and I can straighten this spoon. David, would you hold out your hand? Are you right-handed or left-handed?
Left-handed.
You're left-handed. And you're Israeli military.
No.
Thank you for your service to your country. Watch the spoon. Would you hold your hand out just like this and squeeze? We talk about energy, so obviously you know the difference between potential energy and kinetic energy, don't you? As long as your elbow's resting on that table, are you in potential energy or kinetic energy?
Kinetic energy.
You're in potential energy. Raise your elbow up. Still in potential energy. All I want you to do is see if you can feel my chi. You're another energy practitioner. Can you feel the threading of the needle here?
Not yet.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, as soon as it goes to the hands, can't you? Right here. This gives us the balance point, the yin and yang. You know the most important part of a yin and yang?
No.
It's the central line. That S wave that goes through, the one that represents balance between the two. Somehow most people miss that one. You gotta let go. Perfect. A point where potential energy and kinetic energy meet. 3, 2, we release. And simply by letting go, the universe will take it where it will. Full around. Like a snake circling around at the head of the neck, 180 degrees. It's a heck of an illusion, David, isn't it?
Yeah.
But what if it was real?
That's pretty,
What if that spoon really was twisted
That's pretty amazing.
at 100 degrees around its neck?
You did.
I'll give you $10 million if you can use your energy and untwist that spoon.
I would not like to start.
And wait, you feel that? Did it feel extra hot? Was it too hot to touch?
No.
It's like I used a lighter and burned it to
It's
melt
not
it.
so.
Simple, right?
Yeah, hand temperature.
We come one more time, just right to here. And I just wave, and that's the last little bit that I like to do, is just to bring that right back up. Look, elbow right under your wrist. And that brings us full circle. And that's the magic of chi. That's the magic of power, and that's the magic of energy. It requires you to believe a little bit. But if you believe it, you can feel it. And if you can feel it, you can learn it. If you can learn it, you can do it. And if you can do it, it's lethal. I'm Draco.